I am probably, like most of you, the world's biggest sucker for downloading the latest and shiniest new apps, hoping they can somehow improve my creative game. The myth that merely by installing a new tool, I will automatically acquire some key skill and as a result be able to do something completely impossible to me now feels super real. However, on that rare occasion where something does come along and completely revolutionizes my workflow, I have done the work to master it as best as I could, and like in this video now, recommend it to as many people as I think would appreciate it. So if you're ready to learn new ways to do old things but just better, faster, and with way more fun, then here is my 2023 software edition of the tools I use on a daily basis to create value and hopefully make positive change. Hi, I'm Maynard and I design learning experiences for people that make things for a living. So whether you're just finding your voice, growing in your confidence, learning to do impactful work, or are well on your way to building a meaningful creative career, why not join our community and just learn along with us? So first things first, what do I look for in a tool for creative work? Here are some key non-negotiables when I'm trying to figure out if something is not just going to fit into, but hopefully radically improve my existing workflow. 1, it must be super simple and I must be able to learn it super fast. Gone are the days of complicated interfaces and just reams of manuals and how-tos. If it's going to add value, it must do so today or it will get a hard pass from me. Next, I always click on the pricing tab before I go any further. Because I'm a professional looking for professional solutions, I've long since given up on just making things work on free apps. If the pricing seems unreasonable or it's just out of reach for me now, I don't click on it. Also, if apps don't come with full ecosystem support built in, I often give it a quick miss. This means that I must be able to access my workflow in the office, at home, in a car, or even at 30,000 feet in the air. Solutions with applications across all operating systems and form factors get the benefit of the doubt. Next, I always lean towards tools that help me share my work and collaborate better. We live in an era of asynchronous, transparent, and highly collaborative work. I don't need more tools that are going to keep my work siloed. No matter where I am or what I'm working on, I want to share and collaborate with just one click. With that said, I probably should give this one quick disclaimer. After spending the last 15 years fully committed to the Apple ecosystem, I have since February of this year made the jump to a hybrid tech ecosystem. I'm still hanging on to my MacBook Air M2 for all the heavy lifting, but when it comes to my mobile workspaces, I'm thoroughly enjoying my Samsung S22 Ultra phone, the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra for tablet, and rounding it off with the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. Yes, this makes incorporating tools across all operating systems just a tad more tricky, but at least the Android app space has been developing nicely in the last few years, and with the exception of 1 or 2 apps, I have had absolutely no trouble jumping seamlessly from the one device to the other without dropping the ball on work or play or anything else. So let's get to my list for 2023. To create some sort of order, I have divided all my current most used tools into 5 categories, representing the 5 main focuses of any creative project, which is inspiration and learning, strategy, creating, collaboration, and finally, organization. The first 3, which is inspiration, strategy, and creating, can be seen as probably 3 linear phases, whereas collaboration and organization, they are the golden threads running throughout every effective creative project from beginning to end. I'm going to be running through my main daily toolbox for each of these focus areas at the speed of light, so if you want to get something to jot down your favorites, pause and do that now. However, I have listed the categories and linked to all the tools in the description below so you can just find them later. Kicking off with tools that facilitate inspiration and learning, nothing populates my daily feed with relevant content as good as Flipboard does. Having the ability to set up custom content filters and allow my content to find me has been priceless. Qbox is the latest find on the list, and it has solidly replaced Pocket as my internet read later service of choice. The design and ease of use is what got me to switch. I love Booked because of its systematic and intentional way of getting me to not just read more, but also learn from others who are reading the same thing at the same time. The fact that the developing team is Pretoria locals just makes it so much more fun to use and absolutely worthwhile to recommend. Shortform is also a book reading service with the exception that the content comes in the form of a detailed summary. It's not the whole book. It's useful if you're in a hurry to digest the book or you just want to get the top level message bits and get on with it. Last but not least, I would be lying if I said that YouTube has not played the biggest role in keeping me informed and inspired. I've learned so much from so many generous creators that it has been the main inspiration for me to not only start this channel, but also make videos exactly like the one you're watching now. So thank you, YouTube. By the way, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, now is the perfect time to do so. But of course, only if this is interesting and helpful to you. When it comes to figuring out solutions to problems, whether for client work or some of my own projects, Miro stands head and shoulders above any other strategy tool I've come across. It combines virtual whiteboard with messaging, video calling, and just a myriad of other useful thinking and facilitation tools. It has become the backbone of my work as a brand and content strategist, whether I'm facilitating teams or just using it as a personal thinking tool. MindNode has always been my favorite mind mapping tool. Well, until Miro developed their own version of mind mapping inside Miro. And because it is already a tool that I use every single day, MindNode now took a kind of a bit of a backseat. However, the simplicity and speed still make it one of my favorite apps to use and play around with. I often find myself sketching out frameworks or diagrams in an attempt to visualize complex ideas and just make them simple. On the tablet and on my phone, Samsung Notes works brilliantly for this. And because both the Galaxy devices come stock standard with styluses like these, or styli, whatever you want to call them, it just makes it super easy to sketch, send, and share content. And of course, no strategy would be complete without the ability to test and iterate. And for that, Typeform has been super useful. Their philosophy is that how you ask is important, and Typeform is one of the best designed survey and polling apps I've ever come across. Actually making the things is what it's all about. So you won't be surprised to see that most of the tools on this list comes from this category. Just a side note about my tools as a maker. I am by trade a strategist and a content creator. I trade in knowledge, not so much in making creative assets. Therefore, all my tools are useful insofar as they allow me to communicate ideas to clients, creative teams, or an audience like you. If a creative tool empowers me to make an idea in my head tangible to the people out there, I will use it. If it does so with a super slack learning curve and at an affordable price, I will buy it. When it comes to creative apps, I don't have much tolerance for super expensive suites that require a doctoral thesis just to get the thing working. Okay, so Grammarly lives out of sight in my browser as an extension and has been punching way above its weight in just keeping my reputation as a writer intact. It checks my grammar, my spelling, my syntaxes as I write, and it suggests corrections in real time. It's incredible. Along the same lines, ChatGPT and Google Bard have become my go-to large language models of the AI sort. Just a tip, when it comes to generative language AI, use it to think, not to write from scratch. Riverside allows me to record crisp audio and video during online interviews, and Teleprompter on Android is helping me to deliver seamless scripts on video without too many ums and ahs, hopefully just like I'm doing now. All my video work comes together in CapCut, which is TikTok's brilliant video editing app. CapCut is revolutionary since it brings the majority of the functionality of bigger and more expensive video suites to the masses at about half the time it takes to master it and at a fraction of the cost. Hated by many a purebred graphic designer, Canva makes creating design at scale easy and painless, for me at least. Whether it's video thumbnails, social media, banners, or profile pictures, or just a quick mock-up, Canva is a no mess, no fuss visual solution. Making sure people actually have access to my work is next in line, and after trying many email newsletter apps, ConvertKit comes out on top every single time. Made for creators by creators, ConvertKit has both the form and the function to make sure you can not only manage, but also grow your list. Working well with others is one of the key skills mastered by those who build long and meaningful creative careers. So logically, finding the right platforms to communicate and share your work is fairly critical. Slack is the industry standard for work-related instant messaging. Although I would much rather prefer to either have my communications more contextual to the actual work itself, something Slack has been struggling to do for years now, or using a simpler or more modern derivative like Discord. However, since it is just the way it is, I'm still spending about 75% of my day scrolling through unending Slack channels for the foreseeable future. Although I was quite allergic to using WhatsApp for work initially, I have since become quite fond of the immediacy and the urgency of the platform. Sensing its business audience growing, WhatsApp has been slowly but surely working super hard at positioning the app more as a business kind of creative solution, including video notes that they just introduced last week and high definition uploads. But what good is all the inspiration and creativity in the world if you can't organize and manage your work properly? The tools I'm using more and more and will probably migrate 95% of my entire workflow to is Notion. I included it here under the organizational category, but the versatility and the power of Notion makes it at once a tool for learning, for strategy, for creating, for collaboration, and of course, for organization. When it comes to being a knowledge worker in 2023, Notion needs to play at least some part in your creative arsenal, if not the biggest and most prominent part. I have long been a fan of calendar blocking and making sure that your scheduled work finds its way from your to-do list all the way into your calendar, and that's why I love Cron. Recently acquired by Notion, it's looking less and less like a traditional calendar app and more like a complementary collaboration suite, including the ability to share your availability and just automatically include Notion docs as attachments. Cron is how I organize my days, my weeks, my months, everything. Well, there you have it. 22 tools for doing everything from learning to strategizing, creating, collaborating, and organizing your work in 2023. Remember that tools are just that. They're tools. What matters most at the end of the day is what you choose to do with them. No tool or app is as powerful as clear direction and deliberate action. So whatever you're choosing to do it with, just do it. That's the whole point after all. And if you want to learn more, check out any of these videos or click around the channel and see if there's something you like. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.